It's Pete Cohen here, and today's YouTube video is called How Tony Robbins Saved My Wife's Life. Now, you might be asking the question, Pete, who's your wife? That's not really important. Who's Tony Robbins? Well, you can Google him, and I'm sure if you watch any of the material that he puts out, you would feel motivated. He is probably the most well-known person in the world in terms of motivating people to go from where they are to where they want to be. I'm a massive fan of coaching, and in this short video I want to share with you how he not only saved my wife's life, but I believe he could actually save your life. What does that mean? Let me explain. So Tony Robbins has been around for a very long time, and if you've watched the last YouTube video that we made, it was actually about Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, if you don't know who he was, watch that video. He mentored Mr. Tony Robbins. Mr. Tony Robbins mentored me. Even though I never actually met him, I started listening to his tapes back in the late 80s. Yes, I know most of you probably weren't even alive then. And I came across him at a time where I really needed some help. I started studying psychology. And from studying psychology, it drove me a little bit crazy, because when you really get involved in the world of psychology, you start to realize that a lot of it has to do with what's wrong with people. And if you look at what's wrong with people, that is like a black hole. You can just keep looking down and you never ever actually go anywhere. I didn't really know what to do in terms of helping people who wanted to go somewhere. I knew that people were broken, and I knew people had problems, because I think that's what we all have. If we think about what we all have in common, we all have problems, we all have challenges, we all have things that we want to do that we can't get ourselves to do. Am I right? Where in your life are you stuck right now? Because if you're stuck, you're not growing, you're not advancing. And what I want to do with you right now as I take you on this little journey is to help you understand that, look, you are here to grow. You are here to be hungry, you are here to expand, you are here to contribute, and actually you're here to leave a legacy. And I think deep down we all know this, but what most of us do is we conform. Now, how did he save my wife's life? Well, nearly 10 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with a very aggressive brain tumor, and she was only given 18 months to live. Now, one of the things I learned from him was there's an answer to everything. So after finishing my study of psychology, I wasn't in a good place. I was a bit lost. I was going on holiday, and I said to a friend of mine, can you recommend a book for me to read on holiday? And he recommended a book by a guy called Zig Ziglar, and it was called Over the Top. And I read this book, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. It was talking about answers and solutions to the struggles that people had. And I was always obsessed with trying to help people be whoever they wanted to be. Really, I was trying to help myself be who I wanted to be, but I didn't actually know who I wanted to be. I just didn't want to be who I was being because I wasn't very happy. So I read this book. It was amazing. I came back to the UK. I went into a bookstore. I said, have you got anything like this? And they said, yes, Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. Awaken the Giant Within. So I bought this book, and again, it absolutely blew my mind about answers to the issues that people had, habits they wanted to break, people who wanted to stop smoking, people who had phobias, athletes that were struggling and wanting to win. So I started reading this material, and I was using it with people and getting incredible results with people. Many of the 19 books that I've written have been based on a lot of what I learned from Tony Robbins. But one of the things he taught me was, yeah, there's an answer to everything. So can you imagine what happened when my wife was diagnosed with a brain tumor? Yes, I was riddled with fear, but at the same time, at the back of my mind, I was thinking, maybe there is an answer to this. Maybe there is a way. So I spoke to a friend of mine, and he said, find people that are still alive who have the same brain tumor and find out why. He also said, what is she going to do when she gets better? And I went, did you not hear what I just said? She's been given 18 months to live. And he went, so what? People defy the odds all the time. And I really encourage you to understand in terms of your life and where you are right now, who are you being? Do you have dreams? Do you have aspirations? You probably do, but the reality is that you're probably conforming to a way that you see yourself. And this is one of the key things that Tony Robbins talks about. We are who we have practiced being. We are who we think we are. And in the situation with my wife, I found people that were still alive. We went to Houston, Texas, where my wife was treated, and that treatment worked. And it's a miracle that my wife is alive and well today. Now, the reason I tell you this story is I want to give you hope. I want to give you the perspective that we really need to think outside the box. Because if you want to change your life, you're going to have to do things differently. And what happens when we do things differently, it really challenges us. It really challenges us for us to just do what we've done. But one of the things that Tony Robbins talks about is if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Most people want a better life, but they're not prepared to look outside the box. They're not prepared to look at possibility. I don't believe my wife would be alive today unless we looked outside the box, unless I had a coach, unless I was prepared to do what everyone else wasn't doing, because most of us are just conforming. So I'm going to ask you again, who are you being right now? And how do you feel about where you are right now? Do you have dreams? Do you have goals? Do you have aspirations? Because if you do, you're going to have to play a new game. And again, this is something else that Tony Robbins talks about. The work of Abraham Maslow. We talk about Maslow probably in all of these YouTube videos, right? He said what man can be, he must be. The hierarchy of needs. Who must you be to know that the reason that you are struggling, the reason that you are stuck, a reason that a part of you maybe is dying is because you're not doing what you're programmed to do, right? To grow, to be hungry. How hungry are you to make your dreams come true? Because the biggest challenge you're going to have in making your dreams come true is the you that you're being that's going to stop this from happening. The challenge is, do you want to awaken the giant within? And this is where Tony talks a lot about motivation. The motivation that you have in you. Otherwise, you would have stopped watching this YouTube video. You'd be doing something else, right? There's something inside you that I'm talking to. The power, the other book that he wrote, the unlimited power, the ability that you have to do great things, but you're waiting for a crisis. You're waiting for a prognosis. That's when the world saw the best of me with my wife. But don't wait for a prognosis. Don't wait for a diagnosis. Think about the life that you want to have and who must you become. And as we finish this off, this probably won't come as any surprise to you, but the reality is when you see anyone who's great, it's what they've done. What you see in public is a result of what they've done privately. And we often just don't see this. They say success, there's no such thing as an overnight success. An overnight success takes 10 years, right? 10 years of doing little things every single day that bring about a new you. Who are you becoming? And that's what I'd really like to focus on, and I'd really like you to take some time to think about. Because we know a great life, it doesn't happen by chance, it happens by design. How do you design that? You have to decide where it is that you're actually going. So did Tony Robbins save my wife's life? I believe he did. I believe that if I hadn't have come across that book, I never would have really realized that there is an answer to everything. And the biggest answer is the answer that we have with ourselves to get out of our own way and to unleash the power that we have within us to do great things. So what's your biggest takeaway from this video today? Please take a look at some of the other videos on our YouTube channel because they're all designed to help you go from where you are to where you want to be. Subscribe, like, comment, and let us know if we can help you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.